चललदे रहसे Champions League एक हाथ गैस में हैंगुमन किक पे जावो नरमने भाग दुलने भीदी दसते गोल एक गन्ना इसी सरसने समरों बिन्ने साथ देने We are one day one heart One game, one heart, Champions League. This is where we start. Together we dream, together we fight. We are the champions. Champions League में अरमने One game, one heart, Champions League सापना ही अरमने दिल्ली देने जायगाने एक सीने डराकियाने One game, one heart, Champions League where dreams take part Raise your flags, feel the art One game, one heart
Sri Lanka Football Champions League, powered by TV Supreme.
into the stadium and are no doubt going to be a vocal crowd here, Randeep. They have shown from the past weeks as well that crowd support has meant much, and they will no doubt look to continue that.
It's amazing crowd support here at the Racecourse International Stadium, and Javelin will be looking to take motivation and energy through that. And the lineup for St. Mary's, I Mithun Nitarshan the captain, Jerinson, Danuja Gambari, Mathivatan, Arinkan, the goalkeeper, Ruban Raj, John Lavani, Prince Clifford, OK Metaver, and AS Jerushan to round up the 11 players for St. Mary's.
For Javelin, it will be Asel Rajavansha, Abdul Farik, Derek Fernando, Sumudu, the skipper, Azad, Rizkan, Alim, Olawale returning after suspension, Abhishan, Bernard, and Ashfaq Ayub in goal. A strong Javelin outfit coached by Naza Hamid. And we are away. Olawale kicks things off as Alim straight away looks to play Harshan Sumudu. But some good defense coming in by St. Mary's, as Harshan Sumudu has found himself on the floor early on. The Javelin faithful will be hoping that that's nothing too much.
The key figure in last week's match as well, Harshan Sumudu, the captain, rallying his troops, and definitely will be looking to ensure that Javelin come out on top as well in this mid-table encounter, if I'm not wrong, Romario.
Well, in fact, Javelin are in mid-table, but a win will take them to the top of the table, and I'm sure they have set their sights on that, because Saunders, they did drop points last afternoon rather, and so did Pelicans as well, as St. Mary's on attack, but anything diffused early on by Abhishan. It was Gumbari who tried to make his run down that right.
And the throw in looking for Gumbari, but unfortunately little too wide there, and the ball trickles over for a goal kick. And the star for Javelin, Ashfaq Ayub, will be looking to hold fort and keep a clean sheet in this match.
Managed to do so last weekend as well, and will be looking to continue his good form as he hoists it downfield, but Javelin lost possession, however regained it. However, with Lavani down, the referee calls play to an halt. In fact, that's Jerusan, beg your pardon. Javelin with the free kick, fired onto the D, looking for Olawale. He gets his head as Bernard secures it for Javelin. But final man in defense comes to the rescue for Javelin. Alim picks up the scraps and tries to send away. The Javelin right winger. However, he's brought to a quick halt. Rizkan, that is, fouling his opponent. Metabo cannot miss that massive figure at the back for St. Mary's. Lavani gets his head onto that ball, but second ball wasn't recovered. Alim looks for Bernard as he flicks it. Well, in fact, that was Oluwale. Both teams will be eager, Randeep, to get a quick start in this game. Javelin did exactly that in the previous game, scoring within the 5-minute mark. And this time around, though, just about 5 minutes gone, and it won't be easy. But I'm sure there'll be no doubt having their sights set on taking down St. Mary's. Foul throw, terrible.
Just the first couple of minutes and just a tussle in position. Both teams trying to get a grasp at the moment and make sure momentum shifts to their side, but it's a cardinal error there by Javelin, an attacking opportunity for them, and just hands over position for New Star.
St. Mary's.
Apologies, St. Mary's.
Both teams just feeling their way into the game. A bit jittery. Neither want to be the team who's making that first mistake, as the long throw in is taken by Farik. But St. Mary's clear the ball, as Farik will have a second go at it. Abdul Farik, that is. Rizkan, back to Farik. Plays it down the left. Has acres to space to run into. However, tries to pick an early pass. Unsuccessful the first time. However, he receives it back. Alim. Again looking for Rizkan, who scored that wonder goal last weekend. But now possession has turned hands. Here goes St. Mary's with a long shot. Lavani, that is, but the first shot not on target. However, ominous signs for St. Mary's, Randeep.
It's a great intent shown there, but unfortunately couldn't keep the shot down once again. Great pass there, and Lavani trying to take the shot and catch Asfaq Ayub off guard, but shot skying, and once again deep kick to the middle, but almost given away position. Javelin seems to be in a bit of a situation at the moment, Romario. They don't have the same vigor that they had in the last week's match. Seem to be all over the place at the moment.
Lavani trying to find his teammate, but is not successful. Now Alim looks for a rake in diagonal pass, finds Bernard. He turns and plays it in behind for Olowale. Has plenty on it, does well to keep it in field. Now back to Bernard, playing it to the center, cutting it back, but some good defensive play as Arinkan. Well, in fact, it's Prince Clifford, beg your pardon, who clears his lines. First corner coming up for Javelin. Derek Fernando from his trusted left foot. Just 4 men in the box in pink to aim for, but lobs it in. Olowale tried to get his head onto it, but unable to do so. Possession recovered for St. Mary's as they look to make a break of their own. Jerison covers and finds the ball. Rizkan trying to get in across, however he's unable to do so. Back to Bernard. Not the best of passes from Bernard. However, the clearance from Asela Rajavansha, unsuccessful on the first occasion. However, he recovers, and Javelin will have to be concentrating on keeping hold of possession, finding their footing. 10 minutes into this game, still neither team has troubled the keeper. Both teams trying to just assert themselves in that midfield. But it's good to see that St. Mary's are somehow managing to put their opponents under pressure, Randeep.
Yes, definitely a great tackle in there. And still heading into the first 10 minutes of this game. Both teams trying to get that first goal, desperate to get that first goal and ensure that they take the initial lead in this match. The throw in, but a great clearance there, and the ball does fall for Bernard. Bernard will look for a couple of options. There's a lovely ball into the box, and that might be a penalty for Javelin.
Decision time for the referee, but he says that it is a goal kick, and a lovely through pass coming in from Bernard. I thought Olawale had got the first touch on that ball. Lucky the keeper there, because if there was VAR, the decision could have been quite different. Olawale got to that ball first and tipped it away from the keeper. But unfortunately, the referee, he has just one look at it and has to make his decision then and there. Long pass looking for Bernard. However, Bernard just a bit too physical there. Brings his opponent down and gives away the free kick.
This is the Javelin that we did see last week, and they look to keep this momentum and put pressure on St. Mary's. Oluwale almost having the first goal for Javelin. Fortunately, nothing coming off that free kick for St. Mary's, and the ball is back with Asfaq Ayub. And Javelin will look to restart their attack. Deep kick to Bernard. And the ball played crossfield and very well handled there by Rizkan.
Now Derek Fernando down this right hand side. Plays Oluwale. Takes the early shot. Here's a chance. Bernard was defended well there. However, still trying to put their opponents under pressure. But possession has now changed hands. Here goes St. Mary's. Trying to go down that right. However, they have been picked off. Alim finds Derek Fernando as he plays a good through pass. Bernard gets it in, but what a piece of defense there. That was Metabo. Bernard on the second occasion. However, the keeper is up to the task. As now we see a Javelin player down in the backfield, and the referee has called play to halt.
We're hoping it's nothing too serious. The moment St. Mary's also do have a player down early into the game, heading to the first 15 minutes. We've had a couple of knocks here and there, but hopefully nothing too serious. But going back to Bernard, he is a force to reckon with, even in the previous game and this game as well, breaking the defense twice now and picking those through passes perfectly. And the defense, St. Mary's defense, will have to do extremely well to contain him if they do not want to concede a goal or lose this match, because Oluwale and Bernard up front are definitely two players that St. Mary's are finding it very difficult to contain.
Indeed, a handful for any defense. Those two players from Nigeria, the foreigners. That was the shot from Bernard. Had to take it on the turn and on his left, so did not get too much power behind it. But we are back as Nitarshan throws it in and resumes play. Not the best of passers there. However, Derek trying to pick a pass, and now he does. Bernard controlling it down the left. Here's Rizkan. The ball falls down and the play is brought down as Metabo is in the book of the referee. 15 minutes in rather. The big central defender. The ball did beat him in the air and he just kept his hand on Rizkan, and that was enough for the forward to go down in the D. So dangerous position, and we all know who will be lining up behind this dead ball, Ramdev.
Definitely referee Chatura Maduranga quick into the pocket, handing out that yellow card. No nonsense, he says, and an all-important free kick for Javelin. Derek Fernando at the ball. His left foot will prove decisive in this free kick. Will be eyeing that top left corner.
Yes, Ramdev, but it's not an easy task to get it over the ball and down when the ball is this close to the goal. So it will be interesting to see whether they take the direct route or the route from above. But four men lining up behind this. Alim, Derek, Rizkan in the wall trying to gain the attention of the goalkeeper, as well as Abdul Farik, if I have not mistaken. Now Olawale straight into the wall, unfortunately, as there is no players coming to retrieve it either. So they'll be disappointed with that. But now here's Farik. Back again to Alim. The hold in midfield. He has been pivotal for Javelin this season. Now Prince Clifford. Playing in a through delivery. He was in search of Gumbari, but Ashfaq Ayub was well aware to the situation and made his run in and did extremely well to defuse anything, as Olawale is going down the attack, but just a bit too much on that by Harshana Sumudu for Olawale on the return pass. Ramdev.
So Olawale was expecting that return pass, try to get that shot off, but unfortunately ball not meeting him. But position once again with Javelin, but cheaply given away, and Lavani on the ball. Bit of a wayward pass there. Seen a couple of times how position has been given away at pivotal moments in this match, which could have turned the tide for each team. But it's again goal kick for Javelin. Ashfaq Ayub trying to find Derek Fernando, but the ball goes out and Bernard quickly takes a throw in.
Looking for Rizkan was Alim, playing that distributor role, but just unable to find his teammate. Now Prince Clifford down the left, cutting back in, trying to play in his teammate. Successfully does manage to do so. A lovely reverse pass finding Jerison, but Jerinson rather, beg your pardon. However, he has been brought down, but Alim is getting a A earful from the referee for that previous foul. Now Jerinson getting the cross in, however blocked well. And now Derek Fernando to the rescue. Not the best of control there by Rizkan. Back to Derek. Alim has enough of time and plays it over for Olowale to chase. He has his opponent bringing the ball down, but cleared out. It's good to see that both teams are playing with quite a high intensity, as Javelin know that they have plenty at stake here this evening.
Going on top of the table will be their goal here in today's match. And Bernard giving away possession, but the defense not doing the job. Almost handing in an attacking opportunity for Javelin. And cleared extremely well. And Prince Clifford duping the Javelin defense, but unfortunately the cross not finding anyone in the box. Only one St. Mary's player was up there. Beg your pardon, I think it was Lavani there. Lavani doing a great job up front for St. Mary's, but he'll need a bit more support, as he seems to be the lone attacker at the moment for St. Mary's, who's showing great intensity at the moment. But Javelin, momentum on their side. Bernard has come close to scoring 2 times in the first 20 minutes of this game. Derek Fernando. Bernard will be looking to get the first goal in this game, Romario, as he will want to break the deadlock like he did last time as well.
Indeed, he will no doubt be hoping that he will be able to do so, but this is a whole different kettle of fish. Now Olowale, bit too much on it on that occasion, looking for that through pass, but all routes have, all passing lines and lanes had been cut on that occasion. Would have been better off if he had just played it back and tried to retain possession. However, Lavani trying to keep the ball in field, but well, in fact that's Prince Clifford. The referee too will have his work cut out. Chatura Maduranga. Two teams going hard at each other. Farik bodied off. Lavani trying to find Clifford, but yet again that miracle pass not really working out on that occasion. Randiv.
The link up between Clifford and Lavani will be important for St. Mary's, as they will want to put Javelin under pressure. So again, say a great challenge there by Lavani. At the moment, position once again with St. Mary's.
High press coming by Javelin, as St. Mary's are dispossessed with a displaced pass. Now looking for Bernard, trying to find his way, but just cleared out. This time around it was Mathivanan for St. Mary's, doing his defensive duties to the utmost of his ability. Abhishan finds his teammate Derek. Now Harshana Sumudu, but he's Displaced pass finds the opposition skipper. Looking for a pass over to Lavani, but the Java lane defense through Asele Rajavansha is up to the task. Lavani with a bit of strapping on that hamstring of his, left hamstring. Lovely bit of play there by Derek. A back heel to find his teammate Alim. Back to Alim. Looking for that rake-in pass, but this time puts Farik, sells him short, but they do well to retain possession. Derek Fernando finds himself quite far ahead. Now Rizkan looking to play in Bernard, but just a bit too much on that cross on that occasion. Promising signs for Java lane, however, just unable to find that end product, Randip.
Bernard a bit hesitant there. Just held his run a bit, but still the pass is a bit too overpowered there by Iskan. But at the moment, position once again with Java lane, and Oluwale managing to collect that ball, but not be able to dish out the pass, which would have been a great opportunity for them. But the tackle coming in, and a great defensive tackle there, and position back with Java lane.
25 minutes has zoomed by us. The game has been quite enthralling, high intense, with both teams pressing at each other. Alim on that occasion looked like he had lost position, but did really well. Now lovely pass by Derek. Rizkan trying to find Harshan Sumudu, however does not manage to do so. Derek recovers, shot from distance, bounces in front of the keeper, but does not do too much damage. So that's the first shot for Java lane, which is on target.
Anikan, the first of the two goalkeepers to be troubled quite a bit. He's had a couple of close chances as well, and almost a penalty given away as well. And he'll be holding his breath as Bernard and Oluwale up front will keep on piling the pressure as we're heading into the first half hour of this game. And a deep free kick, but goalkeeper up to the task and collects the ball and dishes it out quickly, but defense doing really well, and St. Mary's looking for an attacking opportunity, but Lavani going down, but he's the one being told off by referee Madhuranga. Lavani pleading his case, but the free kick will be for Java lane. Little bit of a nudge there by Lavani on Azad, and Azad does go down. Now Derek Fernando to Rizkan, but Rizkan gives away position, and a lovely touch there. Unfortunately, referee Madhuranga does call back play for another foul. I think it was on Lavani, so it will be St. Mary's free kick, and they'll be hoping that through this opportunity they can get that all-important first goal in this game. I think heading into the end of the first half, the side that does manage to get that goal will be the happy of the two teams and come back out in the second half with the greatest of motivation and momentum.
Now an opportunity for St. Mary's. It'll be their skipper over this dead ball, Nitarshan. Tosses it in, but Ashfaq Ayub up to the task, punching it away as Bernard keeps it in the field of play. Now an opportunity to break, but Alim's pass just not finding his teammate and rolls into the opponent's keeper. Not the best of passes there. Alim will be quite disappointed with that. But Rajavansha rushes out, tries to press his opponent. However, St. Mary's does well to keep hold of possession. Now running down that wide right is Gumbari, but he has
Abhishan did bring Gumbari down without the touch on the. I think he did get a slight touch at referee Madhuranga. It's pretty difficult to see in the heat of play, and these decisions in high intensity matches are also difficult, and we have to give credit to the referees as well. But at the moment it is a corner for St. Mary's. A prime attacking opportunity for them, and they'll be looking to get a goal through this. About 5 players in the box for St. Mary's.
Gumbari tosses it in. Now Metabo trying to get his head to it, but gets the back of Bernard. And now it's a corner from the opposite end.
The ball did square Bernard right in the face, so Bernard a bit of discomfort, but back-to-back corners for St. Mary's. An opportunity for them to pressure the Java Lane outfit, who have been in the attacking third for quite a while. So St. Mary's will look to make the most of this corner, as they would like to get at least challenge Ashfaq Ayub, as Ashfaq Ayub has not had much to do in goal today. And also a decent crowd coming in for today's match, especially quite a lot of supporters for Java Lane, as we did see in the last week as well.
Indeed, it's good to see the fans coming in and back in their team. Bernard gets a round of applause as he makes his way out. Now Gumbari lining up the free kick, the corner rather, beg your pardon. Drops it off short. Ruben Raj back to Gumbari, trying to bring his trickery out. Gets it in. Appeals for a hand in the box, but the referee says nothing doing, as Mathivanan tries to toss it back in. Now Alim with an opportunity to play in. Bernard coming in from after receiving a bit of treatment. Olawale running in behind, gets his head, but just unable to get enough power that he would have liked behind that header. However, that's the threat those two players possess, Derek and Olawale, time and time again. But here goes St. Mary's through their Prince Clifford, but the defense of Java Lane holding firm enough as Metabo clears his lines. Now looking for a through pass for Lavani. Here's the first goal, is it? No, it isn't. Offside, says the referee. But it will be very interesting to see the replay and what it looks like. On first viewing, I was made to think that it was Gumbari who was in an offside position when he was retrieving, and Lavani looked on, but if we have a replay we will be able to tell you what exactly happened. Rizkan now down the right, swings it in. Opportunity for Javalen on that occasion. But this game has surely come to life as Bernard brings his player down and concedes a bit of a soft free kick. But we are all waiting to see that replay, Randeep, aren't we?
Definitely end-to-end action at the moment here at the Racecourse International Stadium. Once again, free kick here. Apologies, crossing Romario. I think he was offside.
Yes, indeed. On a second viewing, the assistant and the referee have made a sublime call. He was offside, was Lavani. And from the replay that we had, it was confirmed that Lavani was in an offside position. Now Farik finds Bernard, but his touch lets him down. However, the ball has been given away as Bernard recovers.
The ball played into an open space, and both players going for the ball, but Bernard managed to recover it, but the free legs of Jerinson catching Bernard and bring him down, and referee Madhuranga calling that free kick. Definitely you can feel the intensity here. All players showing their frustrations and vocalizing their thoughts on the particular incident.
Tempers flaring here at the Racecourse International Stadium. The Javelin players not happy with the foul by Jerushan, was it? Jerinson, in fact. He did seem to catch Bernard on his knee. And well, Ruben Raj has been given his marching orders as we have a look at that offside.
I thought, Romario, it was Jerinson's legs that brought Bernard down, but the red card has been given.
Yes, indeed, it is Ruben Raj who receives his marching orders in the here's that replay there. That was a bit of a soft one, but here's the incident where I thought that the referee opted to go for his red, but was it really deserving a red? Because at this point in time, a red card means that St. Mary's are depleted a man, and the game will no doubt shift massively in favor of their opponents. That's the first challenge, and then following that he tries to clear the ball, and his right leg stamps on the knee, left leg rather stamps on the knee of Bernard, but that's that early shower for Ruben Raj. Now Derek, well, in fact Alim picks out Farik as he crosses it in. Here's an opportunity, Bernard, but Metabo clears any danger. However, we have a game on our hands here at the Racecourse International Stadium. St. Mary's reduced a man, and now it's Javelin who will be in firm control, but the ball has been given away. Here's an opportunity to break for St. Mary's. Skipper finding Lavani. No, he doesn't, but 37 minutes in, St. Mary's have been reduced a man. I repeat myself. St. Mary's have been reduced a man. And now Java Lane will be looking to make maximum use out of this.
It's been an eventful 10 to 12 minutes so far in this game. Goal scoring opportunities for both teams back to back. And then the red card for St. Mary's. And like last week as well, Java Lane will feel that they have an opportunity to get a goal before half time. And they are used to playing with the opponents 10 men down. But it is a free kick for St. Mary's at the moment, and they look to regroup and regather their thoughts heading into the end of the first half. Their main goal will be to make sure that the scoreline remains the same, or at least get that lucky break and get the first goal. But that free kick going nowhere, and clearance by the Java Lane defense. I think Romario St. Mary's will just be looking, let's hold on to the next 5 minutes and regather and see what we can do tactically to win this game.
Certainly they will be hoping that they do not concede anything before they go into the halftime break. But here's an opportunity as Rajavansha has been penalized for a bit of a shove in the back of his opponent.
Funnily enough, after that red card, it seems to be St. Mary's the team that is fired up compared to Java Lane, and they seem to be pushing for that goal. Goal here will help their cause, as 10 men are only on the field for them, and a man down definitely is a tough task with the threat that Java Lane holds, especially with the attack up front, the likes of Bernard and Oluwale.
I think it was for a handball, but Alim, Harshan Sumudu and co are making a massive racket to figure out where this ball needs to be placed at.
Definitely was a clear handball on that replay, and Java Lane just pointing on the mark and pleading to referee Madhuranga. Three players on the ball for St. Mary's. The captain Nidarsan, Lavani and Clifford. Seems to be Clifford and Lavani. Apologies, now it's only Clifford on the ball and straight to the wall. Both free kicks we've seen so far in this game close to the D have gone straight to the wall, but still position with St. Mary's. They managed to, and a lovely ball into the box, and a missed opportunity there. Unfortunately, Lavani not being able to keep that header down. A lovely ball into the box. Now all Lavani had to do was keep it on target, as that header was a strong one. Unfortunately, an opportunity gone begging for St. Mary's. Definitely a chance for them to take the lead in this match and at least cut the deficit of that man down. But at the moment, ball with Java Lane. Cross into the box, but goalkeeper Arnikan, pretty easy collection for him.
First clear-cut opportunity going the way of the 10-man St. Mary's, as Lavani back again on his bike, but Ashfaq Ayub up to the task this time around. Lavani was looking for that header, but he will be disappointed that he could not even keep it on target, because There was plenty of space for him to get that header in, but unfortunately he wasn't able to disturb the keeper or keep it on target, so he'll be quite disappointed. But the first clear-cut opportunity going the way of St. Mary's, as Javelin now they just need to keep hold of their heads, because they do not want to be losing their heads even after they have a man to the good, Randiv.
Definitely, and St. Mary's will look to keep this momentum once they come back in the second half as well, as they seem to be the threatening team at the moment. But Bernard on the ball, looking for Derek Fernando. Derek Fernando looking for an important pass, but not managing to find Oluwale. But possession given back to St. Mary's, and Lavani to Gumbari, apologies, and a lovely interception there by the Javelin defense. So Javelin up to the task as well, as we've headed into the 45th minute, and an added time of 2 minutes. 2 minutes is all St. Mary's have to ensure that they do not concede a goal, as they want to head in to drinks with the scoreline remaining the same. But Javelin will be hoping that they can find that pass in the final third to get that all-important goal. Like I mentioned time and time again, the first goal in this match will set the tone for each of the teams.
Lavani did have a bit of an elbow catch his opponent. Nothing to separate the two teams, but just a red card to St. Mary's is what gives Javelin a bit of an advantage going into this break. However, the scores remain 0-all as we go into half time.
jalilade rase Champions League ek hada gas mein hanguman kick pe java naramenne bhag dulanne bhidi dasde goal ek gannai sit sarasenne samarok venne sabdeta denne we are one game one heart one game one heart Champions League this is where we start together we dream together we fight we are the champions Champions League में one game, one heart, Champions League सामने आरंभने दिल्ली जय गन्ने एक सीने दरमियाने one game, one heart, Champions League where dreams take part raise your flags, feel the art one game, one heart
Sri Lanka Football Champions League, powered by TV Supreme.
the keeper, as the goalkeeper does extremely well, did Arvinkan. Oluvale lets it through. However, unfortunately, Rizgan had strayed offside, was it? But 3 minutes into the second half, it will no doubt be an enthrall in one. Randiv, both teams desperate to find the back of the net.
It's all or nothing for St. Mary's at the moment. They need to get that first goal, and they definitely seem to be vying for it. The hunger and the drive comparatively more than javelin, and a high hanging kick to the back of the javelin defense, but a foul committed there by Clifford, and possession almost given away. And St. Mary's back with possession again. Will be looking to build through this passage of play. Gumbari. Once again that searching ball, and almost falling for Lavani, and Lavani takes a shot off and hits the post, unfortunately for him and for St. Mary's. Once again a nothing opportunity, and my apologies, I think it was Clifford Romario.
Yes, indeed it was Prince Clifford making something out of nothing on that occasion. Ayub had given up, unfortunately for St. Mary's and Clifford. It bounced off the woodwork. Now Gumbari swinging it deep. Metabo trying to get his head to it, but unable to do so. Down the right goes Javelin, plays in Olawale as he tries to get the better out of his opponent. However, the ball ricochets back, and we are back with the keeper. So an eventful couple of minutes, but still the score remains 0-0. The deadlock not broken. Derek plays in Bernard. Here's an opportunity. What a save by the keeper. Rushing out And Bernard just unable to find a corner. Here's an opportunity again, but this time around as well, up to the task was Arinkan. And what a save, Randiv.
Both Anikan and Bernard doing their best to attack and defend, but Anikan coming up on top there, shutting down Bernard's shot and ensuring that St. Mary's stays in the game. And a bit of a rough challenge there by Gumbari, bringing down Abhishan. So it'll be a free kick for Java Lane. So another attacking opportunity for them, but once again, the replay here, Gumbari just shoving Abhishan a bit. But both sides having golden opportunities, I would say, in scoring goals. But St. Mary's chance for scoring goal came out of nothing.
Now Derek swinging it in. Harshan Sumudu was not in an offside position, but just unable to find his teammate. So promising signs for Javelin. They seem to be finding the chances in front of goal and in their opponent's penalty box. Just lacking the finish, but I'm sure they will be counting their chances. Abhishan plays in Rizkan. He does well, but Mathivanan does even better to shepherd the ball out. Chances plentiful in this first few minutes of the second half, but neither team unable to find the back of the net. Now Gumbari trying to pick a pass, but to no avail. Ball comes to the feet of Alim as he finds Abdul Farik. Arshan Sumudu back to Farik and back to Alim. Plays in Harshan Sumudu, but just too much on that pass on that occasion. Javelin are managing to get in behind the defense of St. Mary's. That's what they were unable to do in the first half, but this time around in the second half, they are managing to find that position on the field. They just need to find that end product, Randiv.
Yes, and this is the Javelin that we did see last week. More proactive on attack. Moment Alim to Farik. And the ball into the box. Luwale climbing, but not able to reach that ball. So again, ball falls for
Rizkan. That was, however, short-lived, the celebrations, as the referee and his AR, they raised the flag and offside is the call, but Rizkan somehow managed to find the back of the net, however illegally, as the goal does not stand. Now Olawale does really well, but unfortunately the ball had gone out of play.
Great run there by Oluwale to try to recover that ball, but unfortunately just not enough to keep ball in play. Great bit of defensive pressure there as well, and it will be St. Mary's goal kick. Alim climbing, trying to get that ball and does extremely well to get a leg on it. And Rizkan managing to recover that and plays it to Oluwale, but a bit too deep, and Anikan does manage to come out and dish out the ball back for the St. Mary's attack. Fortunately, Derek Fernando giving away position there. And bit of a audacious attempt there, looking for that through ball. Bit too hard on it. The run couldn't have been made, but position back with Javelin. And Luale getting a leg on that. And position once again back with Javelin. Bernard does manage to get to the ball and cuts back, looking for a couple of options. And Derek Fernando looking to take a shot. And just troubling Arnican a bit, but it was pretty comfortable for him.
Yet another opportunity and on target for Javelin, but nothing too much on it to trouble the keeper. Farik goes long, but the scraps have been picked up by Olawale. Now running at the defender. Metabo somehow managed to get his leg onto it. Bernard with his left. This time around though gets the keeper as Gumbari runs into Chatura Maduranga, the referee. Comical, but not too much damage done. Here's that shot from Bernard, as we see Gumbari getting a good piece of the referee, good chunk in fact, as Chatura Majujan is knocked off his feet. Thankfully though, not too much happens after that, as Metobo takes the goal kick. Javelin still in search of that first goal. Derek scanning, trying to pick a pass, but just a bit too much on it, as Arnican comes to the rescue.
Javelin splitting the defense pretty easily in this second half of St. Mary's. Arnican finds Gumbari. Gumbari does very well to bring that ball down. Plays it off to Jerinson, and Jerinson puts the ball into the box. But Shfaq Ayub up to the task. So both goalkeepers playing a vital role in this match. They'll have to make great saves if they want to keep their teams in place, especially Arnican. But Javelin on the ball at the moment, and Alim looking for a couple of options, but Oluwale was offside there, so leaves the ball be. And a bit of carelessness there by St. Mary's, but again a strong pass, and the ball does trickle out of play, and it will be St. Mary's throw in.
Careless there by Javelin, giving away position on a couple of occasions. Metabo put under a bit of pressure. Now Rizkan fighting, but some good fight shown by the St. Mary's player as well. However, Alim on the ball takes a long shot from range, does not manage to disturb the keeper.
Not the ideal way to go, as he has a couple of options up front who strike the ball even better, but St. Mary's at the moment bit careless in the back and giving away a couple of opportunities. But Gumbari plays it also Lavani, and a lovely pass there by Clifford, but unfortunately finds the Javelin defender, and the ball is cleared out. But a rare attacking opportunity for St. Mary's at the moment, as they seem to be the team under pressure. But they look to make a maximum use out of this.
Shot taken on that occasion. However, Ashfaq Ayub up to the challenge. It was a lovely back heel there by Prince Clifford early on. Alim with pressure, run in, receives it back from Olawale. Now playing in Harshana Sumudu. Here's an opportunity for Javalen. Gets the cross in. Bernard brings it down from the left foot. That was Derek, but just unable to beat the keeper. Anikan, he's no doubt up to the task. Lavani bringing the ball down well, but just loses out. Now Alim picking out Abhishan. He points and puts it into the box, but Metabo is at it. Derek Fernando finds his player down the right rather, beg your pardon. But well, this game is no doubt opening up, and it is quite an eventful game at hand, as the Javelin player is found offside.
Definitely looks like Javelin on top at the moment. Pressure rising the St. Mary's defense, and Anikan in goal, but Anikan doing very well to hold fort and make sure that he blocks out all attempts from Javelin. And the goal kick taken, and almost finding Prince Clifford there. He's been doing a great job up front, but that opportunity earlier which knocked the post will haunt him. But at the moment, another chance for St. Mary's. The ball going over the Javelin defense twice now in quick succession, and Lavani and Prince Clifford trying to find that opening and get that first goal for them, but fortunately Ashfaq Ayub does knee actually his own player. Abdul Farik taking a hit to the head.
Friendly fire on the occasion, but massive collision there. Can see Lavani just shoves his opponent in the back as Abdul Farik meets Ashfaq Ayub.
Abdul Farik doing extremely well to hold Lavani back, but ending on the bad end of that encounter. But he seems to be up and running, and we'll hopefully have him back on the field quickly. But it'll be a Javelin's ball. And it'll be to Harshana Sumudu, the captain of the Javelin outfit. To Alim. Alim finds Bernard. Bernard looking into the box. And back to Harshana Sumudu. Harshana Sumudu plays it to the middle. Alim does not get to that ball. And lovely passage of play there for Javelin. Unfortunately, nothing coming off of it. Alim a bit lazy on that ball. He definitely had a shot on target there if he managed to collect it. But the man on your screen, Derek Fernando, he's been a vital player for Javelin today and in last week's match as well. An emphatic victory for them. And Gumbari, a foul on Derek Fernando, and Madhuranga calls back play. Alim. The ball looking for Harshana Sumudu. A lovely ball, but unfortunately the first touch not that great. And Lavani trying to find Clifford, and Clifford does manage to get to that ball. Unfortunately, mixing up his legs, and the ball does bounce off of him. The link up between Lavani and Clifford has been really fun to watch today, but unfortunately, that important goal not coming from that pairing. But Alim on the ball, passes it to no one, but Bernard does extremely well to recover position. Harshana Sumudu finding Bernard, a lovely ball. Bernard waiting on that. Fortunately, might have not been the right decision there. But a player is down, and Bernard does the right thing and kicks the ball out of play. And we do have our first substitution in the game for Javelin. Rizvi Atik comes in for Mohammad Rizkan. Rizkan has been important has been playing an important role in this game, and definitely tactical substitution, Romario.
Indeed, Rizkan did not have the impact he would have liked to, and now his time has run out as Rizvi Atik finds himself entering the fray, and he has about 20 minutes plus to make an impact. That was where the injury took place.
Bernard just catching the foot of that St. Mary's player. And ball back with St. Mary's, and they do the right thing, and giving Javelin possession. And another substitution coming in, the likes of St. Mary's, and it will be Emma Morrison coming in for Jerinson, the number 10 of St. Mary's. He's had a decent impact on this game, but coach Ratnam Jusmin does decide to bring him out and get a fresh pair of legs in.
Substitution for St. Mary's. Jersey number 10, J. Jerinson, is replaced by jersey number 11, M. Madison.
Abhishan to Azad. Azad looking for Bernard, but fortunately Bernard just, apologies, Farik just waiting on that ball a little too long, and ball is taken back. Kumbari on the ball at the moment, twisting and turning, looking for options, and does play it over, but the new man in, Madison, bit too difficult to get to that ball, but quick on the attack is Javelin. Abhishan finding Derek Fernando, and Oluwale plays the ball in to Bernard. Bernard in the box, but under pressure, and a great bit of defense there by Gumbari, and Madison does the remaining bit of work in clearing that ball. St. Mary's getting out of a tough position. They'll breathe a sigh of relief as their goal was under threat. And it'll be a throw in for St. Mary's. And Clifford trying to find Lavani, but fortunately not enough power on that ball. And played into the box, a lovely pass there, and Lavani unfortunately not getting, but Clifford, second shot on, unfortunately not being able to get good contact on that, but Gumbari on the third opportunity, and St. Mary's might have just given the game away there. Romario one, and the second chance here as well, and Gumbari trying to get that tight angle in, but unfortunately Asfaq Ayub up to the task, but it is a corner for St. Mary's and Gumbari will be taking it. The ball is back with Bernard, and Oluwale holding play back a bit and looking for a couple of options as his players do come up. Bit of a shove there by Lavani, looking to catch Asfaq Ayub off guard, but Asfaq Ayub was not that far off his line. But going back to that missed opportunity there by St. Mary's. Clifford and Lavani having the best of opportunities to get a couple of shots off, and even Gumbari as well, fortunately not coming off that. But back to the action, it's Oluwale on the ball in the box and dancing around and trying to get that ball in. Fortunately, great defensive work done there by St. Mary's defender.
Needed to give that pass, Oluwale, as he chopped in and turned. He had the opportunity to drop it to Bernard, but just trying to do it all on his own, and wins a corner for his troubles. By the looks of it, it will be the new man to take it. Derek on the D, gives it to his teammate, but just getting in their way was their teammates from Javelin. Derek laid it off to his supporting player, hoping for a shot to be taken, but he hoisted it into the box instead. However, another chance goes back in. Derek trying to backheel it to his teammate, but loses out. Now Javelin through Abhishan to Alim, but some good quick thinking there by Gumbari as he picks the pocket of Alim. Farik, Harshan Sumudu to Rizviatik, trying to play in Harshan Sumudu, but just a bit too much on it on that occasion.
Once again on the replay there, Bernard trying to lay it off to Oluwale, but unfortunately both not on the same wavelength. But once again position back with Javelin and Abhishan on the ball, and Bernard looking to break free off the defensive line and get the ball in, and a lovely ball into Derek Fernando, and Derek Fernando just take that shot off from his left foot, but unfortunately that hits the inner post and does not go in. The second time we've seen the ball hit the post in this game on opposite ends in this half, and Alim trying to get that ball in, but my oh my, I think the closest that we've seen so far in this game, the ball just bouncing ahead of that line. Under pressure, Derek Fernando taking that shot off. And fortunately for Javelin and Derek Fernando, that ball did not go in.
The closest Javelin have come to breaking the deadlock. Unfortunately for them, the shot taken with his left foot there, Derek, and hence the ball always curving away from the goal and catches the woodwork. Injury concern for Lavani. In fact, it's Prince Clifford who finds himself on the floor, receiving a bit of attention from the medical staff as fans, supporters of Javelin, watchers on. Play resumes. Looking for Oluwale, but the ball instead finds Bernard. Leaves it for his teammate, but doesn't go to anyone wearing a pink jersey. However, the ball is rescued.
Farik looking for the new man, but St. Mary's defense are doing extremely well to contain. But once again, lovely bit of 1-2 there by the Javelin here. And Harshana Sumudu in the box looking for Oluwale, but unfortunately Oluwale not being able to keep that ball down. Actually just goes past him. And Javelin having multiple opportunities to get that first goal. And Oluwale shoved by Mithun San. So again, highlight here. Apologies, the replay here. And yes, referee Madhuranga saying nothing wrong with that, and it will be a goal kick for St. Mary's. But heading into the 80th minute of this game, the scoreline does read 0-0, but so many opportunities for both teams. It's been an exciting and enthralling match, and fortunately no goals to show for that. Both teams will be pretty upset with it, and especially Javelin, the most recent chance from both teams. And once again Abhishan, lovely ball into the box, and Bernard does catch the St. Mary's defensive player. I think it's Metabo who's on the ground at the moment. Metabo has been doing an extremely decent job at the back, making sure that Javelin doesn't play their free attacking game like in the last game. Holding the likes of Bernard and Oluwale is not easy, but Metabo has been doing extremely well. And a foul on Abhishan brings about a free kick for Javelin. But it is Oluwale down the left flank, but dealt with by St. Mary's defense. So far it's been a tussle for position in the last 5 minutes, but foul by Alim. I think there was contact between foot and head there. Salim just taking his leg up to collect that ball. Unfortunate for him, but Mithun San in a bit of pain there, but quickly recovers, and we're just about to resume play once again through this quick free kick. But nothing out of it really, and the ball falls for Javelin, and Derek Fernando on the ball, looking for Harshana Sumudu. And nothing past there really. No pink jersey there for that pass, and the ball falls back for St. Mary's. But Bernard does extremely well to put some pressure and lays it off to Alim. Alim finding his captain Harshana Sumudu, and Harshana Sumudu plays it across to Bernard. Bernard trying to get control of that ball, managing to get past a couple of players, but a strong challenge there by Metabo. And Javelin recovering extremely well, but Umbari giving a bit of challenge there, and referee Madhuranga calls for stoppage in play. There's a bit of a tussle there between Gumbari and Azad. I think it is Gumbari who was penalized, and ball back with Javelin. And Harshana Sumudu on the right, looking for Bernard, and the ball does fall for Bernard, but not enough power on that shot. And Arnikin collects that ball pretty easily, but on the other end, it is a lovely pass to Gumbari, and Gumbari in the box and brought down. What does referee Madhuranga have to say about that? He says nothing wrong. Azad brings Gumbari down in the box. But Azad does extremely well to get to that ball and clear it out, so it will be a corner for St. Mary's. Corner taken by Gumbari, and 4 players in the box for St. Mary's, but unfortunately nothing coming off of it. And it's Javelin on the counter attack, and Lavani does extremely well to take back position. We're heading into the dying end of this game. Couple of more minutes for that 90th minute, and we'll also have a bit of added time as well. But if anything is to happen, it has to happen now for either Javelin or St. Mary's. Both teams would not want to end in a draw, as that will not gain them maximum points. So again, the foul here by Oluwale, so it will be position back with Javelin. Alim on the ball. Looking for Bernard, and does fall for Bernard kindly, but bit of a questionable clearance there. But Mathivadan kicking that ball out pretty aggressively, but Javelin back with position. Alim looking for Bernard, but Bernard covered pretty well. Derek Fernando in a bit of a tussle there, but does give a bit of a wayward pass. in the replay there, just the wavered arm there of Lavani catching the javelin player, and Lavani doing extremely well to get over Rajavansha, but a bit of a shove there by Abdul Farik on Lavani, and Lavani pleading his case, asking for a free kick. It's again Lavani doing extremely well to get over the player, but Rajavansha, bit of an aggressive shove there. Both players do make contact on the ball, and just 3.5 minutes on our clock of play, and also added time to come. So like I mentioned before, if anything is to happen, has to happen now for either of the teams. Just looking for resumption of play here. Asfaq Ayub on the ball. Romario, both teams have had golden opportunities in getting that first goal or the winning goal, but the scoreline does not give justice to the game that we've had here at the Racecourse International Stadium.
Indeed, I think both teams will be quite disappointed if the game ends at 0-0. But as you rightly said, they had chances plentiful, but neither team was able to take either of them. Alim trying to play in his teammate, and somehow manages to do so. Arshana Sumudu still in the thick of the action. Back to Alim, looking for the diagonal, but plays a short pass instead. Arshana Sumudu plays it to Oluwale, but not the best of touches. Looking for a pass from the outside of his foot, but doesn't really work the way he hoped it would. St. Mary's still in with the fight. That time around a bit too close to Ashfaq Ayub. Derek to Alim, trying to find support, but he goes down cheaply, and Gumbari is compelled to play the ball out.
I think we have to give credit to St. Mary's with the man down, and especially against the threatening attack of Javelin. They've managed to keep the scoreline the same and also create a couple of opportunities for themselves. So St. Mary's, I think, will be the happier of the two teams, but don't think anyone would want to end this game in a stalemate. Just heading into the 90th minute mark, and Alim seems to have picked up a bit of a knock on his ankle. Will that be the end of his game? We'll have to wait and see, but I don't think so. He wants to stay in the game, wants to close it out for Javelin, but we will be resuming play with the ball for St. Mary's, and Captain Nithasan quickly taking that ball, and at a time of 5 minutes, so these 5 minutes will be all or nothing for both teams, as Anikan manages to collect that ball and will dish it out quickly for St. Mary's. I think from what has happened so far, St. Mary's be hoping that they deserve a goal for all the defensive work they've put in. Gumbari brought down by Abhishan, and it will be a free kick for them. An opportunity for St. Mary's to make sure that they get that goal. That will bring in the victory for them. It's been an exciting match so far here between St. Mary's and Java Lane. It's again replay here. Abhishan catching Gumbari, and a deserved free kick for St. Mary's. And, we're seeing a couple of players going down. After an excruciating 90 minutes, it's also pretty difficult for the players. But few more minutes of play, and especially Java Lane, they'll be looking to get that goal, as they do not want to end this game on a draw, because a victory here will ensure that they go top of the table. Azad seems to be complaining a bit of knock there, but the ball into the box, and Shfaq Ayub does punch that ball away, and Clifford takes the shot, and that knocks the woodwork again. My Romario, third time we've seen so far in this game, and this is a bit of an unlucky streak for St. Mary's, as they've created two wonderful opportunities.
Yes, indeed, hitting the woodwork in at a time, well, you can't get any closer than that, could you? Now Oluvale trying to wriggle his way, but Metabo has him well under wraps. However, he has been brought down, and a free kick goes away off Java Lane, as Azad is replaced by Ziad. Azad clutching on to his shoulder. He comes off in quite a bit of discomfort, but this may very well be the final opportunity. Derek lining up behind the dead ball, looking to swing it in with his trusted left foot. Derek Fernando gets it into the box, but who else but Metabo? He has been massive in defense, keeping his opponents at bay, and he has played a massive hand for St. Mary's. Cross coming in, and yet again trusted head of Metabo means that Java Lane are still at bay, unable to break the deadlock. Derek Fernando looking for the substitute, trying to get on to the end of it, but he does not manage to do so, and the throw goes in favor of St. Mary's. Possession has been thrown away though, as Bernard tries to fight his way back, to no avail. Alim under pressure finds Derek Fernando. He gives it out to Oluvale, but he's shoved a bit too much, and by the looks of it, this game is coming to an end. A fighting 0-0 draw will it be? Just about 11 seconds left. St. Mary's trying to hoist this free kick into the box. They do, but the referee says that is that, as Java Lane's opportunity of going top of the pile unfortunately deserts them, as this game against St. Mary's comes to an end with nothing to separate the two teams. St. Mary's nil, Javelin nil, as the points and the spoils have been shared by the two teams, Ravin.
Yes, 10-man St. Mary's doing an extremely well done job in containing that Javelin attack, and both teams will be disappointed, especially with the opportunities that they've had. And St. Mary's will feel even more hard done with the fact that they've had two shots go off the woodwork, and also Derek Fernando having a shot off the woodwork as well for Javelin. But I think the happy of the two teams will be St. Mary's, as they managed to scruff out a point after getting that red card in the first half. And it's 0-0 here at the Racecourse International Stadium between St. Mary's and Javelin. That man on screen, Metabo, who had the last handshake, will definitely be pleased with his performance, as he did man the defense for St. Mary's, especially with 10 men down. Apologies, a man down. Referee Chatura Maduranga also not having an easy time in the game. Officiating a high intensity match is not the easiest. Ensuring